Okay, it's live. Sorry for the delay. I was trying to set up OBS because I didn't set it up on this computer before. Let's move this window over here. I have two monitors, so if I'm ducking this way, I'm just ducking at my other monitor. So hopefully this goes fine anyway. Should I? There's no one online at the moment. Okay. It's probably just because I just posted the link. Let's see. Let's see if this is working. Sorry, I haven't done this in a while. I used OBS before. Should be working. Anyway, the reason why I want to use OBS is because I can screen share. And I wanted to go over like the questions on Patreon and maybe go through a few of these stupid comments. I'll see. Okay. This is not working here anyway. Whatever, let's see if there's anyone. Okay, there's someone chatting. One person's watching. Okay. Let's wait for more people to join. Is the sound alright? Is the sound and quality of the video fine? Because this is my first time using OBS in a while. Hopefully I set up everything correctly. Just want to say you were part of my inspiration to start weightlifting. Love your shit, dude. Well, that's awesome. Thanks. Yeah, a lot of people actually told me like they started weightlifting because of my videos, and there's actually been like a couple of like high level weightlifters that have said that to me. Like in the UK, Edmund, he actually started weightlifting because of my videos, and he I think he got a Commonwealth medal in weightlifting. So like he's a pretty good weightlifter. I think his best lifts I think it's like over 150 snatch, and I think he did a 191 or something in his recent competition. He competed at the Europeans. He did pretty well. And also there's another lifter in Ireland. He doesn't do weightlifting anymore. I think he just kind of does it casually. But Ian Dara, his best like snatch, I think it's like close to 130. I think in his prime, and I think he got close to 160 in clean jerks. So I'm glad I'm like introducing people to weightlifting. It's an awesome feeling. Sounds good. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, sound and quality is good. Fantastic. Hang on a second. Let me check something here. Okay, so you can see the live chat. Okay, that's fine, because I thought this doesn't pop up in OBS. Okay, that's fine. Let's go through a few questions here in the live chat. So I have the live chat on my second monitor. Favorite core exercise? My favorite core exercise is definitely weighted sit-ups. Like weight behind my head. Like I see a lot of people do it. They put on their chest. Like I think that's bullshit. It's just making it way easier. Like even if you get like a 2.5 kilo plate behind your head, it makes the sit-up a lot more difficult. And obviously sit-ups are like extremely easy with no weight. So you definitely add like weight to the exercise. Other than that, yeah, decline weighted sit-ups are great as well. Weighted planks and weighted side planks especially. I do that. Not these days though. I'm kind of just very specific in my training. I'm just doing the lifts. I should be doing more accessories, I guess, but I'm lazy and I have a lot of work to do in the snatch and clean jerk, so I just don't have energy. I guess a good thing for me to do, I could probably do like the accessories at home. Like most accessories you can do at home, no problem. Wondering what your thoughts are on training the front squat to increase high bar back squat. I think my weakness in the back squat is keeping an upright position. Assumably because of weak quad and core. Yeah, it's mainly due to like weak quad strength. So the best thing to do, honestly, would be just to do back squats and focus on your form. Like if your form breaks down any bit, then you just need to lower the weight. Like every back squat you perform should be with an upright torso, and you shouldn't allow yourself to lean over. But yeah, front squats definitely a good exercise to increase your quad strength. But in my opinion, just like perform the back squat, high bar back squat correctly each time, every training session. Don't allow yourself to round over or rise your hips. Okay. Would training the front squat exclusively for a few weeks help me see an improvement in the back squat? Oh, it's like a continuation to the question. I wouldn't train it exclusively. Like you definitely need to add in back squats, so do both. I guess for a few weeks you could have like half of your volume of front squats and half of your volume with high bar back squats. Did you already do all the Patreon Q&A questions? No, I literally just started the stream like 5 minutes ago, so I'll go through them. I'm just going through the questions here now because there's a few people watching. You said you got a new job. Congrats. What are you working on now? It's not confirmed yet. Yeah, I might be moving actually. Like for those of you familiar with Ireland, I live in Kerry, and I might be moving to Cork, which is like an hour and a half drive from here, so not too far away. So yeah, I'm doing it because it's interesting. I'm not really doing it for the money, and it'd be nice to get out of this like town as well. So it's a job in the lab, and I don't know the full details yet, but I think I have that job if I wanted it. I talked to the manager and everything, so. Space Ghost, he asked, have you ever thought of getting into martial arts since you're pretty good at tricking? No, definitely not. Like, I just honestly don't have any interest in martial arts or like fighting people. Just zero interest. Like, I do tricking because it looks cool. Like, the kicks in it look awesome. So, yeah, I literally only do tricking because it looks cool. Not that I have an interest in martial arts at all. Okay, so that's all the questions on the live chat. Another reason why I did this late as well is because I trained really late. I actually went to the gym at like 20 to 10 and I rushed through everything. Like the gym closes at 10 o'clock, but you know, sometimes I train like past 10 o'clock anyway and they don't really say anything. But yeah, I did like snatches, like power snatches and clean and jerks, and then I did back squats. I went up to 240 for a set of 5, and I did that like in 5 minutes, from like 70 kilos to 240 in 5 minutes, which is fucking stupid. Alright, I'll go through the questions here. I keep forgetting you can actually see the screen. And it's awkward looking to the side like this. Maybe I can... No, it looks awkward as well. Maybe I can just make this smaller. Fuck it. Okay. Load more comments. Yeah, because I've done like loads of live streams before and you can't see like what I'm reading, so this makes it better here. John, he asked, I've been weightlifting for about 2.5 years now. I've always contemplated taking a small cycle of steroids. Oh god. My uncle used them for many years and was a 550-pound bench presser back in the 90s. Have you ever considered taking them for recreation? Or maybe in the future? Guys, please just stop asking this question. It's just a stupid question. Like, do you really think I'm going to like admit to illegal activity on a live stream? Like, okay, maybe in the future for powerlifting meets that don't test, do you think testing athletes in strength sports should be abolished entirely? Okay, that's a decent question. Give you my thoughts on like your first statement here. Weightlifting, honestly, like I just wouldn't recommend that. Like, weightlifting like is a skill. You need to practice often. Like 2.5 years in weightlifting and then jumping on a cycle, that's not a good idea. Like, you can improve so much because weightlifting like takes like many years to just master the technique. So I just wouldn't recommend that like at all. Yeah. Do you think testing athletes in strength sports should be abolished entirely? That's a very like difficult question to answer. I really don't know a good answer to that question at all. Like, what I've done like in like my recent video, I just kind of stated that there's negatives of anti-doping. Like that a lot of people don't realize. I'm not really saying I'm against anti-doping. Like, I don't know where my opinion is exactly on that. But kind of leaning towards the side that anti-doping should be like abolished in like weightlifting and Olympic sports. That's kind of my controversial opinion, I guess. But I'm open to being wrong on that. There's certainly like a lot of negatives in anti-doping, like the cost billions. They spend billions on anti-doping for the past like a few decades. It's not as effective as people think it is. It's creating an unlevel playing field. It's not really making it safer for athletes, I guess, like, because it's forcing people, like if you want to be competitive, you're going to have to take drugs with short detection times that are dangerous. And if testing didn't exist, at least you have the option to use safer compounds. So there's many arguments against it, I guess. Positives of anti-doping, I can't really name a lot, honestly. Like, does it like make people take less drugs? Possibly. I don't know. I've been thinking about this for the past like 5 years, honestly, and I really don't know a good answer. Alright, so next question from Eden. In what order should weightlifters be training? Meaning snatch, clean jerk, squats, pulls. Should weightlifters always begin with the most technical lifts in the beginning of the training session and finish with exercises like squats, RDLs, pulls, deficit? Yeah, usually. It's good to start with like the most technical exercise, and usually like the most technical exercise is the least taxing. So like the snatch would actually be the least taxing out of all these exercises here. And then the clean jerk would be a bit more taxing than the snatch. Squats more taxing. Compared to the snatch, clean jerk, and pulls would be probably the most stressful. Well, pulls not really. It can be less stressful because pulls and weightlifting, lower hip position, using your legs more, so it doesn't really fatigue the lower back as much. But yeah, I typically would recommend an order like that. It depends like on the person as well. So if a person is like weaker at squats and weaker at pulls, it might be like an advantage to start with like squats and pulls first before the Olympic lifts. Like if you look up the priority principle, basically states that like the exercise you do first in the session is the one you're going to make the most gains on. So if your squats are weak, it would be advantageous to like do it first compared to like last. Space Ghost, he asked, do you think you will start getting back into tricking again since you're at a lighter weight now? Yeah, like I kind of just casually do tricking. Like I just do when I want to. Like the weather has been really good recently in Ireland, so I might get back into it. And I'm actually going to a tricking gathering as well in July. It's in Scotland, so really looking forward to that. And I messaged Tom actually and asked him, is like himself and Juji going? And he said maybe so. Maybe another Jujimufu collab. Hayden said he's going to be there, so at least there's that. And there's a couple other people I know as well. My friend from Korea is possibly going over as well, Devon, so that'll definitely be awesome. Do you watch Vegan Gains? Do you think he has a good approach? Well, it's kind of Vegan Gains, like, he gave me the idea of like doing like a stream like this using OBS. I've been watching a lot of his videos recently and they're definitely entertaining. Yeah, I watched a lot of his content. Do you think he has a good approach? Yeah, like he's just completely honest. Like I don't understand like why people kind of want to be like babysit into going into veganism. Like they can't hear like the truth about like why they're wrong and why they should just change their diet and why it's ethical. Like if you want to watch content like that, I guess you can check out Unnatural Vegan. But I don't know. I agree with like his approach. I guess it works for some people and doesn't work for other people. So Harris, he asked, would it be fair to say that weightlifting is not 100% technique due to steroids? What kind of question is that? Like, are there times where a guy wins goals just because he took more shit than others? Definitely not, no. Like, if you look up, what's it called? I forget the name of the actual document, but it's like a huge document from the time like East Germans dominated in like athletics and weightlifting, and it actually states how much they took, and they didn't take that much gear at all. Like, less gear could be more optimal than higher amounts in like athletics and weightlifting. In bodybuilding, higher dose like gear is definitely superior, like for muscle growth, but for like athletic activities, I guess like using smaller amounts might be more optimal. So no, yeah, weightlifting is like, what's your first point? Would it be fair to say that weightlifting is not 100% technique? Because they're not. Like it's. I don't even know how to answer that question. You might want to look at Ilan's performance at Asian Games. He sure might be somewhat injured, but for reference, in London 2012 he snatched 185 and jerked 233. Whole Team Kazakhstan are way down in performance, just as Team Russia. Did he actually do that? Jesus, I didn't know he only did 185. That's really bad. Yeah, like I'm seeing like a lot of people talk about Ilan's performance at the Asian Games and like how bad it is, and yeah, it is terrible. He snatched like 160 and clean jerk 185. Like I think a guy from like America beat him actually, and a guy from India. So like I never heard of any weightlifters from India. So that's crazy. Yeah, it's not due to drugs. Like, well, it is due to drugs, but it's not the whole story. Like, I heard like stories about Ilan that I haven't seen online, so maybe I shouldn't say it. But like, it has nothing to do with drugs. Like, well, it's not all to do with drugs, but like, he's like definitely depressed after like what happened to him. Like his life is just not going well for him at the moment. So. Like, he's probably just weak because he's just feeling extremely depressed and he's probably not training as much. Like, I think what he should have done after he got caught, I think he should have just done what Klokov is doing right now, just go around do seminars. Like, there's loads of money in that. I don't understand why he went back competing, and he went to, like, he hired lawyers and everything to prove he was natural, but waste of money, waste of time, in my opinion. Like, he should have just done a shitload of seminars, made a load of money, because people definitely want to like see him like seminars and everything. Shit, sounds like the audio is coming from two inputs. What the fuck happened here? Sorry, I didn't look at the chat until now. Okay, I think I know how to fix this. So, OBS. Oh fuck, what happened here? Properties. Microphone, yes, okay. Fuck, is it fixed? God damn it, I don't know how to fix this. It is normal? Is it good now? It's fixed? What? I didn't really do anything in the settings though. Okay. I'll go back to the live cons now actually. Where did I stop? Shave your head and eyebrows. One punch, okay. How come you don't do YouTube full time? I kind of do. Like, that's my main job. Well, it's not like YouTube directly, but like I get money, like a Patreon. Sorry, fucking sound is echoing myself. I can hear myself on the headphones. But yeah, like YouTube is kind of like my full-time job. Like I coach people, Patreon, made a decent amount of money like with the program on Gravitas now, and I do get like AdSense money. So yeah, that's my full-time job, I guess. And I do have a small job, a part-time job in a lab, but that's not really for money. That's just for like experience mostly. Anybody in the chat know how to get over getting your heart ripped by an evil woman? Clarence, any tips for heartbreak? Sorry, I won't be able to give you like good advice on that. Do hit to increase heart hypertrophy. Oh, that's brilliant. Squat every day. Yeah, that cures everything. I'd recommend doing that. Definitely do 5x5. In your youth, how did you do in school? Were you good at math? I see that exact question posted here, so it's probably the same guy. I did pretty shit in school. I just didn't give a shit. It was only until like after like secondary school, which is high school, that I kind of cared about education, and then I went back to college and got a degree. But yeah, I wasn't that good at school now. I just didn't really care. Just didn't have the motivation. Larry asked, which pull variation would you recommend for strengthening a weak posterior chain? Preferably one with decent recovery to do multiple times a week. Definitely Romanian deadlifts and stiff leg deadlifts. Yeah, you can recover from that pretty well. Not that stressful because the weight's going to be a lot lower. Other than that, you can do like hyper extensions. They're really good. Or glute ham raises, sorry. Squat the feels away. Yeah, definitely. So let's talk about audio problems here. Hey Clarence, how often do you do zombie squats? What is the heaviest you've done? I've never done it ever, so, and it's pointless. It's just a good lift for Instagram, so I don't do it. I know Owen did, what was it, 220? He said he could probably do more. I think he should for like Instagram views, but like it doesn't really benefit his weightlifting at all. The hobby guy asked, just love to see more content is all. Okay. Definitely gonna be posting lots of videos on Patreon. Uh, Not that much on YouTube. I don't really like uploading that much on YouTube. I just like uploading like I guess like very high quality content on YouTube. I don't want to upload like just crap every day or every week. Would you consider holding seminars in different gyms around the US? Maybe in the future. I just don't have any like interest in doing that right now. Drinking Irish tea. Are holding one in Ireland for a week or so, like Tarakti does. Yeah, that'd be a cool idea actually to like make a training camp or something like that. Maybe in the future. I'll definitely like want to own my own gym or something to do that. Like if I had like a house like Juji, like that'd be awesome to have like a training camp there or something, you know? Like a home gym. Like not that many people, like maybe like 5 to 10 people, and I don't know, set up like a accommodation for them or something. I don't know. Maybe in like the far future, like when I live like in my 30s or something. How often do you think a beginner should max out? Well, I'll actually ask you a question now. Are you a weightlifter or a powerlifter? Because that really matters, so let me know. How long do you usually sleep per night? These days it's fucking like it's fucking bad. Like I'm going to bed at like 5, like even 6 a.m. I don't know. My sleep has just been totally messed up, and I try to fix it. Like anything over 5 hours is good for me. Anything less than 5 hours, I feel like shit. So last night I probably got like 4 hours sleep. Just me, I don't take up too much space. Okay. I was wondering what you meant there. Okay, back to these. Where was I? Okay, yeah. Ronald, he asked, I actually coach this guy. Hey Clarence, I know it's a naive question, but I'm interested in your opinion. You think CrossFitters on elite level are on roids? I know you don't know that, but what do you think? Yeah, the thing with CrossFit, it's really turning into like bodybuilding. Like I think CrossFitters use like not as much drugs, but like there's definitely like a huge amount of CrossFitters that use roids. It's like it's literally becoming like a recreational bodybuilding. The testing in CrossFit is really bad as well. So like a lot of CrossFitters use drugs, even ones that are not even at like regionals. Because I don't know much about CrossFit, but I think you can, like, I know you did a CrossFit Open to qualify for like regionals. Is that right? And I know like you don't get drug tested, obviously, because like that's an online submission. So you could just be using like shitloads of drugs, qualify for the regionals, and then just go off drugs and then compete. So like I don't know, testing's awful. Got popped. Third place finish. He was on SARMs though. Everyone in any kind of competitive environment with high tier cash prizes. Yeah, there's a lot of money in CrossFit. Like, what's the cash prize in the CrossFit Games? I think it's like $250,000 or something. And Fame at the top will be using every competitive edge they can. Frankie asked, slowing down the descent in the squat and focusing on proper tightness and position has been the thing that has made my squat feel right and consistent. I managed to go from 150 kilos max to now 195 kilos in 1.5 years. It seems you descend slower than in your early years as well. Was this a conscious decision? What made you change? Yeah, I think like I descend slower in the squat these days because I did like a lot of pause squatting for like 2 years. So I think it's just a habit from that. And yeah, I think it's literally just a habit from that. There's not like a problem dropping down as long as your technique can allow it. That's usually what I say to people, like drop down as fast as your technique allows. Mads asked the question. I have a couple of questions. In the dip and drive portion of the jerk, is it more important to have a controlled ascent and a more explosive, powerful drive, or is the elastic dip and drive utilized by athletes like Valentin more effective? I see Owen doing an explosive elastic short, whatever you want to call it, dip, but St. Ryan told you both to do shorter and slower. He didn't tell us to do a shorter dip, he told us to go deeper. So he didn't really say go slow. He actually recommends going fast. So he recommends going deep and fast. But yeah, one thing that matters as well is the weight you're lifting. So like if you're clean jerking over, like on a men's bar now, this is different for women's weightlifting, but if you're clean jerking like over, let's say 160, 170, then it's probably worthwhile doing the elastic dip. If you're lifting less than like 150, it's kind of useless because you don't get the oscillation of the bar, like the bar whip. So elastic dip is kind of useless if you're like a beginner weightlifter. A controlled dip is, for the majority of people, is better. The elastic dip, like I can't do it. Like I just can't get the timing right. You need to be like strong with the change of the direction to do the elastic dip, I guess, with heavy weights. And I just don't have that strength, like to stop the barbell. Like, so when I do the dip, if I drop down fast, I need to have a lot of like quad strength to like reverse the direction of that quickly. So I guess a slower dip kind of works for me a bit better. Like I experiment with my jerk technique like every week. It's just horrible. I don't know what to do. Like the deeper dip that like Gabriel recommended to me, it did work, but my hips got destroyed from it. So I've gone back to like a short dip. It's still kind of slow though, it's not fast. In the front rack, is there a significant difference in elbow positioning? Something between African straight down elbows and European with elbows straight up is what I mean. The front rack. Like if you're doing front squats and clean, like your elbows should be high. Like that's what like the African lifters do as well. They only change their elbow positioning like once they go for the jerk. So like they clean like this, and then they widen their jerk and they drop their elbows. How they're able to do that, I don't know. Like it definitely has something to do with race because like I never seen any Europeans or Asians do that. So it must have something to do with their like collarbones or shoulder structure or something. I have no idea, and I never heard anyone talk about that. Yeah, for like the clean, the front squat, yeah, you want your elbows up high, and when you go for the jerk, you want to grip the bar. So like the front squat, you can have a loose grip, but for the jerk, it's way better to grip the bar. So your elbows actually drop a slight bit. Also, front squats with straps to strengthen the T-spine. Is this for every session, or just until I get strong enough to handle big weights? Use that as a like accessory. Like don't do it like every time you do front squats. Maybe just do it once per week. And like when you do front squats, you could really try doing front squats with like a tight grip or even a hook grip as well. And yeah, I would continue doing like those types of front squats until like the problem gets fixed. So like maybe once per week front squat with straps, and then every other time you do front squats, like either have like a very tight grip or a grip. Like don't even worry about the weight really, just focus on the form. Yes, a jerk I meant. Okay. Is the sound quality fine? Because for some reason earlier I just went to shit and I didn't do anything. So let me know. I'll go on to the next question. Almost done with these actually. It's fine. Okay, perfect. Also, I always hear everyone talk about good genetics, using you and someone like Elo Ilan as an example of someone with god tier genetics. Well, I guess I have good genetics. Elo Ilan has god tier genetics. What does that even mean? Better leverages, shorter femurs, bigger potential, or what? Like it can mean a lot of things. Like a funny one I bring up like to a lot of people, like good genetics for weightlifting would be your ability to pass drug tests and to handle a lot of drugs and not get side effects. Like that could literally be considered good genetics for weightlifting, and it's considered good genetics for bodybuilding, especially. Like all the top level bodybuilders can take a lot of drugs and not get any side effects. So that's a funny one. But yeah, like obviously it's based on like where you start, like what lifts, what your snatch, clean, jerk is, and like just basic strength exercises like squat and deadlift. What it is like when you first start weightlifting, like your rate of improvement. Good leverages, I guess. Yeah, definitely. Short, like small or long torso, short femurs, short arms. Like that's definitely an advantage. Yeah, like your ability to like withstand, like heavy training and avoid injuries. There's a lot that go into genetics. There's definitely a good book. I forget the name of it. Trying to remember. If I remember, I'll let you know the name of the book. But he talks like about genetics for sports and stuff in the book. It's really interesting. Bill Dugan asked, Clarence, what are your favorite kind of beans to eat? I've seen that question somewhere else. So I'm supposed to hear. Yeah, my favorite beans, chickpeas, I'd say, are my favorite. I really like butter beans. I've been eating loads of them these days, and I always eat kidney beans. They're extremely cheap in Ireland. They're like 23 cents per can, which is ridiculous. Like, I don't understand how food can be that cheap. it's insane. Okay, so that's all the questions on Patreon. Feel free to ask questions in the live chat. I guess I can go through a few of these questions here as well. I was thinking, like, would I just post like this recording to everyone on Patreon, like the $1 patrons, and then they can see this, or maybe I'll edit it and just include this segment. I'll think about it, but I'll answer these questions anyway. So, Bill, yeah, I know he asked this question already. I answered that. Emish Hess asked, how did you fix your knee pain for squats? Well, I got surgery because it was so bad, like nothing helped. But if you like read the interview I did for All Things Gym, I talk about that a lot, how it like overcame like my knee problems and everything. The main thing that helped me was like this exercise where you get like a slant board and do like single leg partial pistol squats, and that basically like, puts like a lot of pressure on your patellar tendon, and because it causes stress, it causes more blood flow into the area and heals the tendon. So that's what helped me the most. And of course, like I did like hamstring exercises, like hamstring curls helped me a lot, and like glute ham raises. And of course, like changing my form in the back squat. So like about 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, like I had some knee problems and I didn't fix it by getting surgery. What I did was I just changed my like form, so I leaned over more in the back squat. Like my back squat form kind of went to shit, but it definitely took less strain off my knees. If you watch my older videos, you can see like my tilt in the back squat. It's a lot greater than it is now. Um, so like avoid exercises that cause pain. Obviously, like front squats and put like a lot more strain on your knees. So that's basically how you overcome every injury. Just do exercises you can do and avoid exercises that cause you pain, and then gradually over time reintroduce those exercises that cause pain with like lower weight, and yeah, over time you should be injury free. So I'll go back to the live chat here. 23 cents for kidney beans. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know how is that? Like, how is it that cheap? Like, surely the can itself costs like more than that. It makes no sense to me. What is that thing you usually wear around your knee? Honestly, like a lot of people ask me that. I don't understand why they're obsessed with that. It's literally just like a strap I bought in a pharmacy for like €2. Nothing special. It reduces like my knee pain. That's why I use it. Why? I'm not really sure. I have trouble locking out in the jerk. Elbows don't want to lock out, and there's a pinch in my shoulders. What could the pinch be caused by? That's strange. Pinch in your shoulders. Elbows don't want to lock out. That could just be a genetic thing. Like some people just can't lock out their like arms completely in the jerk and snatch, which is why like in weightlifting competitions you see like people point at their elbows before they go into a lift. It's literally because they can't lock out. So ways you can just kind of overcome that problem, I guess, would be do exercises like push press. And like every time you do the push press, make sure you like push up as hard as possible, and that will like increase the strength of the lockout. You could also try like dumbbell tricep extensions and skull crushers to improve tricep strength. As for the pinch in the shoulders, I honestly don't know. I wouldn't be able to give a good answer on that. Maybe see a physiotherapist. And why do you use it? Because it reduced the knee pain. What got you into motorcycles? So like I went to the Philippines. What was it, like a year ago? Yeah, it's been a year, and just rented scooters, and like it was just totally awesome. And I started just like watching like motovlogs on YouTube. Like there's this guy where I live actually that does motovlogs, and I watched like a lot of his videos, and it just seems awesome. So I was interested, and I actually needed to get a vehicle of my own as well. And I was going to get a car, but then I was just like, fuck, I was getting a motorbike. And I got a motorbike, and it's just awesome. It's very addicting, and I didn't realize how like addicting of a hobby it is, and it's definitely expensive. Because I'm tempted to get a new bike already, and I'm gonna be just spending loads of money on gear and stuff, like helmets and jackets and stuff like that. So it's a really expensive hobby, but it's awesome. I like it. So back to these questions. How often do you do accessory work for biceps, triceps, or shoulders? Got 3 likes. These days, not often. Not that like I don't recommend doing like work like that. Definitely can be useful for like injury prevention for weightlifting. So depends on the exercises as well. Like for shoulders, like obviously a good accessory exercise that's good for weightlifting is strict press. Like stuff like I don't know, dumbbell shoulder raises, not as effective like as a strict press. Triceps, I think the best tricep exercise would be skull crushers. Like for some people it does cause some elbow pain, so you could try tricep push downs instead. And for biceps, barbell curls, dumbbell curls, hammer curls are great. So yeah, I definitely recommend accessory work. I don't do it myself, but I should, I guess. But those aren't like the three muscle groups I'd focus on most. I'd focus mainly on like core and like posterior chain for like weightlifting and powerlifting. Samuel asked, considering his performance at the Asian Championships, do you think Ilya has a chance to medal in Tokyo Olympics? Yeah, I actually talked about this. I went over these questions here. But basically, yeah, I think his life is just like it's just not going well for him. He's probably like really depressed. I seen an interview where he talks about like his depression and all that, and yeah, of course he's probably off drugs, which is why he's weaker. But there's definitely other reasons why he's weaker. See a chance to medal. I don't think so. Like your lifts can't go from like 160 to 185 to let's say 185 230 like in just over a year. Like if he manages to pull off that's crazy. Like I don't see him beating Tan Tao or fuck, I forget the name of the Iranian. Yeah, he's definitely not going to beat them. I say weightlifting is fucked up. Like it's just so corrupt. Alexander asked, sorry if you have already answered, but I had a discussion recently in the gym. How much grams of protein per kg body weight? There were people not even remotely strong in any way claiming that they take 2.5 grams per kg, which I thought was a lot. So 2.5 grams per kg, I weigh like 100 kilos ish, so that'll be 250 grams. That's excessive for sure. Like excess protein just turns into carbohydrates, so you're just wasting money. Like eating that many grams of protein, and like that's only achievable already if you have protein powders, or else it'd be really difficult just diet alone. I see like on the studies like I've seen, it seems like was it 1.3 to 1.7 grams of protein per kg of body weight is optimal for like strength athletes. And like there's definitely like different sources and they say different things, but for me personally and for people I coach, like I just recommend that amount and it seems to be fine. Learned anything about weightlifting during your time in Romania? Lucas asked. Yeah, of course I learned a lot. Like just seeing the videos, you can see that we learned a lot about weightlifting, and it definitely motivated me to train as well. Like before Romania, like I didn't really have that much motivation to improve my lifts, and Gabriel was definitely motivated by us coming there as well. Like he didn't lift close to what he lifted in Romania, like a couple of weeks before we went, and yeah, he trained hard, like because he wanted to like show off on camera as well. So like it gives him motivation to train as well. Now that he's come to Ireland in June, and it gives me own motivation to train. So yeah, we learned a lot, and we're certainly like more motivated to train now. Tank top brands. It's literally like a tank top from like Tesco. I think it was like €1 or €2, so it's extremely cheap. It's like the cheapest tank top I've seen in Tesco. Back to the live chat. Is it odd that I recover faster from front squats? I have long femurs and short torsos. Somehow back squats feel harder for me and my knees, or maybe my technique sucks. Yeah, maybe your technique is kind of off. Like for some people, yeah, that is the case. Like front squats, just easier. It suits them better, just based on like their body proportions and all that. But usually, like the back squat should be like far less stressful than the front squat. Like front squat puts like more pressure on the lower back and knees for most people. So maybe you're just unique and you recover faster doing front squats. Yeah, it has to see your back squat form really to know. I think Ela went through a tough divorce. Yeah, like loads of things happened to him. So like he obviously got caught like 2 Olympic Games. He lost all of his medals. He probably lost like a significant amount of money. He lost possibly like loads of sponsorship. He had that divorce. Yeah, like that'll fuck up anyone. So that's why he's not doing well in weightlifting at the moment. Like I think he should have just took a break from weightlifting after that and just done seminars, but whatever. The hobby guy asked, "Do you have many vegan restaurants where you live? If so, what kind of food are they?" Um, I don't have any like pure vegan restaurants like where I live at all. There's vegan food, but there's no like pure vegan restaurants. Um, yeah, it's kind of shit. Have you tried soy protein powder? Yeah, I actually have some. Um, the main reason I'm not really taking it at the moment is because it just tastes awful. I define like a good brand of vegan protein that like tastes good. That's cheap as well, and I haven't found the brand. What are 3 good exercises for posterior chain? Stuff like deadlifts, Romanian deadlifts, glute ham raises. I actually mentioned that earlier. Where was I? Oh yeah. What's going on with your knee injury? I haven't seen a knee wrap in a long time. Yeah, people are obsessed with this knee wrap. It's something special. They think it's magical. But, no, I'm not using it because my knee is like fine at the moment. Main problem is like my hips, like they're like, destroyed. So that's the reason I'm not using the magical knee wrap. Alex asked, any insight on the history of weightlifting? Who came up with the lifting techniques that are used today? Not too sure about the history of weightlifting. I'm definitely like familiar about like weightlifting in like the 70s and 80s and from then on, but like before that time I don't know too much, honestly. Like weightlifting in the 70s and the 80s was definitely interesting. Some of the best weightlifting like records ever lifted, but for the history of weightlifting, don't know much about it, honestly. I know it was like, I think it was done like outside and it was like in a stadium, like similar to like athletics, and people used to do like dumbbell lifts and stuff. I think that was like the first Olympics, but I don't know much about like the history of weightlifting. P. Paitari Cartano. Okay, I'm definitely pronouncing that wrong. He asked, for a beginner, how usually should you hit attempt 1 rep maxes? I know this differs from people to people, but I have tough time figuring out the frequency when I should do heavy lifts. Aren't you in the chat actually? Because alright, so I saw that question in the chat. Like this question. Yeah, it depends like if you're a weightlifter or powerlifter. Like if you're a weightlifter, like intermediate level events, well, let's say intermediate level, you should be like maxing out often, maybe like once a week or once every 2 weeks. Beginners, they can't really max out, like they just practice and technique, and advanced level lifters, they shouldn't max out too often because it's so stressful. For powerlifters, it doesn't really work the same. So like beginners obviously aren't really maxing because they're not efficient. Intermediate level powerlifters shouldn't max that often because like maxing out like the deadlift, for example, is very stressful compared to maxing out in like the snatch, and especially for like top level powerlifters, like advanced lifters, they only really like max out in competitions. Like they don't even really max out in training. In your youth, how did you do in school? Were you good at math? I answered that question, the live chat earlier. I recently developed wrist pain from cleaning. isn't bad, but I had to put off clean jerking for some time while it heals. Should I go back at it again or do wrist mobility work? I don't see how like doing wrist mobility work would help with wrist pain, wrist injury. Um, I don't even know how that happened in the clean, so maybe it wasn't even due to like poor mobility. But I definitely recommend like avoiding cleans and jerks and probably snatches if it causes you like wrist pain. And it's just like allow it to heal. And like I said earlier, like pick exercises that don't hurt you, and for exercises that do hurt you, then slowly reintroduce them to your training until like while it's healing. John, same here, it's crazy too because the wrist takes very long to heal, whereas like a pulled back can be cleared up relatively easily with some steroid medication. Yeah, like I have wrist injury right now and it's from Miami and still not healed. It's healing slowly though. The wrist is a complicated joint, so it's a complicated injury usually. Space Ghost, he asked, for a beginner who wants to continue to build muscle while going into weightlifting, how should we program our accessory work? Yeah, so obviously you have to lower the amount of like isolation exercises you do, and put more volume into like learning the snatch and the clean and jerk. I'd recommend doing like snatch, clean and jerk before doing like isolation exercises like bicep curls, like tricep extensions, and like other bodybuilding exercises. But yeah, realistically, if you're doing like, if your goal is to build muscle like alongside weightlifting, you're gonna have to like drop the volume a bit compared to like when you were doing like bodybuilding if you're doing previously. He also asked, when will we see any tricking videos anytime soon, now that you're at a lighter body weight? Didn't I answer that question already? Yeah, that was in the live chat, but just answer again. Tricking videos definitely in June because, or sorry, July, because I'm gonna go to Scotland for a gathering, so there'll be loads of videos. But I don't trick that much. I only do it like as a hobby and just do it when I feel like doing it. T asked, just how suspicious are your gains? Very, very suspicious. Oh yeah, okay, so I actually put this in my Q&A on YouTube, so there's no need to answer it here. And yeah, a lot of people are offended in my answer, like a load of people. Gabriel Torres asked that, do you see yourself snatching 190 or clean jerking over 220 in the near future? Also, do you think you have reached your potential strength limit? Snatching 190 over 190, like, it's not my goal right now. My goal is to fucking go over 220 in the clean jerk because my clean jerk hasn't improved in a long time. So that's definitely like 100% my goal this year, to improve on the clean jerk. And have you reached your potential strength limit? No, but definitely close. Like, it's not like I'm gonna add like 10 kilos onto my snatch, like on a beginner or intermediate level weightlifter. Like adding 10 kilos onto my snatch would take a couple of years. You know, it's not gonna be easy. Would you ever consider coaching weightlifting full-time, publishing the Kennedy Bible of lifting methods? Also, will you stay in Ireland for the rest of your days, or will you ever make moves to America? Would you ever consider? Well, I kind of do like coaching full-time, like online. I don't do like, I do coaching in person, but not that often. As for like a book, like, yeah, I have thought about making like, not really like an ebook, like that's gonna be like 300 pages long, but maybe like a beginner's guide to weightlifting that's like, I don't know, maybe like 30 pages long, along with like some videos on what you should do and stuff, and maybe like a short ebook on like nutrition, like how to successfully do a vegan diet as an athlete or something. I don't know, just some thoughts, but yeah, maybe in the future. Back to the live chat. Where was I? I'm drinking. My tea's cold now. Yeah, that tastes fucking awful. Oh, some vegan comments here. God. Fuck, there's loads of questions, hang on. How do you prevent callus tears in the snatch? Use straps. Like you kind of just have to like choose what sessions a week you like really practice the snatch without straps. So for me currently, I snatch without straps once per week, which is probably not enough. But that's definitely like to prevent like calluses in my hands. Like using straps is the best way to avoid like tearing of the skin in the hand. Use tape as well. I actually have tape here. Oh, fuck. It's Average Rules tape. Pretty good tape. Probably lifting. Definitely recommend that. Should probably get sponsored by them. Canadian Protein has the best and cheapest vegan protein I've ever had. Not sure if they sell worldwide though. $25 Canadian for 1 kilo. Is that the name of the brand? Let's see. Canadian Protein, okay. Yeah, maybe they don't really ship to like Ireland, but which one is good? Oh, grass-fed, that must be good. Sarcasm out of 9,000, I guess. Yeah, I don't see vegan. Where is it? Vegan. Okay. Yeah, the price is not bad. Yeah, I'll definitely look into that. Might be good. Because right now I'm like using MyProtein. It kind of sucks. Like the pea protein especially, that tastes awful. Yeah, thanks. So the hobby guy asked, it's a blend as well. Oh yeah, that's the same guy, sorry. Apart from calories and protein, do you also try to keep track of other things like how much fat and sugar you eat? How about fiber? Yeah, like I track everything. Like I use, well, I don't do it all the time. I use Chronometer. Like it tracks micronutrients, fat intake, calories, like saturated fat intake, everything, trans fat intake. Like so, I track everything just because it's easy on Chronometer or MyFitnessPal. Vegan protein versus non-vegan protein differences and why you take vegan protein. Well, the main reason I take vegan protein is because it doesn't use like cow's milk. That's definitely the main reason. Like whey is disgusting, like awful, very unhealthy, and obviously it's really unethical. So that's the main reason I have vegan protein over like non-vegan protein. And as for like absorption, like bioavailability of vegan protein versus non-vegan protein, like soy has the same bioavailability as whey, and there's studies on that. LOL, he's vegan, that's why he takes vegan protein powder. Yeah, it was kind of like an awkward question to answer. Were animals harmed or something? How is it made? Do you eat eggs? If not, what is the reason? Um, Look up like the egg industry and see what happens. It's pretty gruesome. That's the reason I don't eat eggs. Like they blend up like male chicks because they don't produce eggs and they don't produce like significant amounts of meat, so they're useless to the egg industry. Yes, they are harmed. Cows don't just produce milk all the time. They have to inseminated, raped. Yeah, people don't like the word rape, so don't use that. I'm joking. LOL, you trolling? No, I'm sincere. Oh, Google some vegan videos. You're asking a deep question. Yeah, definitely a deep question. Like, if his neighbor had a few chickens and offered him eggs, would he eat them? No, chickens were harmed. Well, they are harmed actually, because their sole purpose in life is to produce eggs for that neighbor. And what happens when like that chicken stops producing eggs? What are they going to do with that chicken? Like, it's not profitable or anything, so they're probably going to like kill it and eat it for meat. And we've been like breeding chickens in a way where they have to produce like a ton of eggs, so that is not good for chickens overall. Yeah, so the hobby guy says there's still the health concern. Yeah, that's true as well. High cholesterol and high saturated fat, not good for health. Do you have videos of yourself where you do exercises not related to weightlifting, powerlifting, like skull crushers, bicep curls? I actually don't. Yeah, I just don't really have a video about that. Maybe I'll make a video about that for Patreon. Health concern of eating eggs. Yeah, like I said, like high cholesterol, like high like fat, high saturated fat, not good for health. Not good for like serum cholesterol. Are you ever going to do another all things gym video? Yeah, like Gregor only lives in Germany, and it's actually very easy for him or me to like meet each other. So, like for me to meet him, all I have to do is like drive 20 minutes to the airport and get like an hour and a half flight, and then a 20 minutes drive, and I'm where he lives. So. Definitely the future, yeah. 20 milligrams of cholesterol, dude. You don't need that. Your body produces itself. Yeah, that's true. Yes, that's the name. They're not a vegan company though. They have okay. Leo, he asked thoughts on Chinese weightlifters, plus how do they never fail drug tests? Like no one knows the answer to that for sure. So like I can't give a good answer like on how they're able to pass drug tests. Like they're probably doing something similar to what the Russians did in the Sochi Olympics. You never know. But yeah, Chinese weightlifters, they're obviously like really good, and it's not just because of the drugs. It's because they have like a huge population, obviously, and they have like lots of funding as well. So Vega protein seems to be pretty good. $30 US though. Yeah, Vega's really really expensive. That's the problem with it. So yeah, feel free to ask more questions. This is definitely the longest live stream I've ever done. There's only 8 people watching. That's depressing. Maybe I can go through some of these comments if I'm bored. Yeah, this is the comment section of my latest video. It's just, like obviously it's not all bad, but there's just loads of stupid comments. Let's go through some of them. Mad respect to you, Clarence. You seem very down to earth and intelligent. Well, not intelligent. Props for speaking for veganism too. You don't compete because you got caught. Like, people are fucking stupid when they say that. Have they like watched the video? Like, here, look, 5 minutes and 3 seconds in. Like, read that. That's why I don't fucking compete. And like, I responded to a similar like statement like that, and I basically said that like in Ireland there's no outlook officer drug testing for weightlifting. So if anything, like a weightlifter in Ireland would have a much easier time to pass a drug test compared to someone in America. So that statement is just fucking stupid. It's so easy to pass a test here compared to like in America. So thanks, super interesting to listen to your thoughts and opinions. How can you tell someone is carnivore other than they're most likely grotesque, smelly, and awkward, degenerate? They will make sure you hear about it and bash veganism. Stupid. A paleo diet is a good compromise. Anyone who doesn't want to go what? Or vegan. It's a very healthy diet. No, it's not. Like, where's the research on the paleo diet? It's good for human health. How did you recover from knee tendonitis? How long was the recovery? Yeah, that took a while. Like, I answered that question previously. Got surgery. In total, like 8 months. Yeah, 8 months it took. Until I was like snatching like above like 110 kilos. Clarence, there's many very intelligent people, including people with doctorates in the nutrition field, who have had serious issues with being vegan. It's not for everyone. The same way people feel amazing on a keto diet, yet others feel like they have no energy. The irony that a carnivore diet person would question the length of time people can be vegan is hilarious. So it has no long-term studies on its effects. Yeah, that's definitely true. Plenty of people have lived long, healthy vegan lives. We don't have many examples of a carnivore diet being sustainable at all. Yeah, well, that last statement is definitely true. As for this first statement, like, just saying that, like, oh, there's intelligent, smart people that are doctors in the nutrition field, they had problems with being vegan, therefore being vegan is impossible for everyone. Like, what kind of statement is that? It's not based on science at all. It's based on anecdotes. So you have to like prove like with high level research that like a vegan diet is not for everyone, and you won't be able to do that. So back to the live comments. Your current moto is a Honda, correct? Yeah, it's a Honda CBR 250. I'm quite bored of it. I'm definitely taking a while getting another bike. So I might get like a Suzuki Bandit or a CBF 1000. I'm thinking about those bikes, but more likely a Bandit because it's cheap and like very, very reliable. Can you check my questions for the Q&A that I posted? Did I miss some questions here? Wait, what the fuck? Okay, I'm an idiot. I didn't see all these questions. Okay. Fuck, where did I stop? I can't believe I missed all these questions. I don't know why I stopped there. I stopped here. I don't even know why I did that. As a beginner, probably got distracted with the live chat. So Christian asked, as a beginner, my right front deltoid is slightly smaller than its left counterpart, making it harder to keep a stable plateau for the platform for the bar in heavier front squats. Will it catch up by itself over time, or would you recommend some front deltoid exercises for better clean grip stability, getting a stronger uh, plateau. Um, right deltoid smaller than that. God, I even know. Like that sounds like a very unique issue. Like difference in like shoulder size. That's a bit strange for front squats. Um, I'd recommend just like a bunch of like mobility exercises to possibly fix that. Like that's a very strange issue. Like having one muscle group larger than another, like significantly that affects your like front squats. Very strange. Um, but yeah, definitely like focus on like rack position mobility exercises for the front squat. And every time you do front squats, make sure like your form is perfect and you don't allow yourself to like drop your elbows or anything. And over time, it should probably fix itself. And as for doing deltoid exercises, you don't really need to do that, I don't think. So Francisco asked, you mentioned the importance of core exercises now that you're a bit older. What are your favorite core exercises? Yeah, I mentioned this in the live chat earlier. So yeah, favorite core exercises: weighted sit-ups with the weight behind your head, decline sit-ups, and weighted planks and side planks. Favorite vegan dessert? I need more options besides vegan waffles. Favorite vegan dessert? Like honestly, I just like junk food cereal. I think it's just the greatest thing ever. Like just a cheap ass junk food cereal that you get in like supermarkets. That's my favorite vegan dessert. If you want to classify that as dessert. Where can I buy squat program? I haven't made a squat program, but I'll definitely make it soon. Did you go to college? Yep, I did. For 4 years. Learned about science. This is more a question about Owen. When is he going to hit a 300 kilo squat? Well, he's been hitting like around like 270 at the moment. And Gabriel is like challenging him to squat 300 kilos. So maybe we'll see a big squat from Owen in June. Who knows? But I don't think it'd be 300 kilos because he's kind of far off that now. But I will definitely see a big squat from Owen in June. How has your snatch technique changed recently? It changed, and then I changed it back to my old technique. So I changed it by bringing my stance. I made it more narrow, and I thought that would be better for like just power, and because like I had a habit of like jumping to one side and jumping in the receiving position. So that's why I did it, but it's just not as strong. So I went back to a wider starting stance. So I went back to my old technique. What I'm focusing on now is just like not jumping in and not jumping to the side, and that has helped my technique. Can someone learn weightlifting from? Oh yeah, this is the question Harris asked. Can someone learn weightlifting from the internet without coaching or buying tutorials? Just from free sources. Yeah, definitely. Like I did it. Is it the like optimal way to learn weightlifting? Like definitely not. If you can get a coach like in person, that would be the best. And yeah, like there's definitely loads of like tutorials online. Loads of good books about weightlifting and all that. So you could learn weightlifting by just like checking stuff online. There's a lot more information these days, obviously, because of the internet. Like back in like I guess just early 2000s would have been really difficult to learn weightlifting. Do you think steroids should be allowed in weightlifting since most top athletes take them anyway? Kind of answered that question earlier. I think there should be no anti-doping. That's just my like controversial opinion, because there's a lot of negatives to anti-doping. It costs like far less money, obviously, to not have anti-doping. So that money could possibly be used for better things. Is it a good outcome? Like having like no anti-doping? No, like it's definitely not, because then people can just use whatever they want and how much they want, and that isn't a good option. But having anti-doping now is not a good option as well, because it's causing a lot of corruption. It's causing like an unlevel playing field in sports. So it's fucked. I don't know. I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Locke. Antone asked, how do you deal with muscle spasms? Have some regular in the lower traps rhomboids area. If I snatch heavy for a few weeks, greater than 90 to 95 kilos during peaking phases. Any tip other than rest? Also, any vegan protein rich meal, then white, red beans, lentils. Thanks, man, a French guy. Okay, that makes sense because I couldn't pronounce your name at all. I never had any muscle spasms. No, I never really had any problems with that issue. So I can't really give you good advice on how to fix that. Yeah, I won't be able to give you a good answer to that, sorry. Vegan protein, like rich meals, red beans, white beans. Yeah, like red and white beans are actually not that high in protein, like per like gram and like per like volume, I guess. Like you have to eat a load of beans to get a decent amount of protein. Lentils is pretty good. What I recommend though is TVP and tofu. Like they're very high in protein per calorie, and like just on the volume. On the volume sense, like it's a lot smaller. You don't have to eat like a lot of tofu to get a lot of protein in. And you could definitely just like get protein powders as well, just to make things easier. So back to the live chat. Where was I? Oh yeah. Almond milk or hemp milk or another kind. I think he uses soy. Yeah, soy milk is definitely the best. And Tara said it here. It's the cheapest and has most protein. That's my answer. If you're in America, the price of almond milk and soy milk is kind of the same from my experience, but I'd go with soy milk. You can get different, like you can get like nut milk and stuff in America as well, and it's like a decent price from what I seen when I went to supermarkets in America. So I guess it depends on like location. Like for me, soy milk extremely cheap and high in protein. Almond milk here is like double the price. So, and hemp milk is probably like triple the price. So. Have you ever done the snatch jerk or clean and jerk or clean jerk? Not clean jerk for fun. I'm not sure if that's what they're called. Like they used to do it in the 60s or whatever. In the 60s? Snatch jerk. I have no idea what you're talking about. Are you talking about like the split snatch and like split clean? Because that's what they did in the 60s, right? Yeah, I'm not really sure what you mean. I've heard the way that soy is harvested kills a lot of animals that nest in the fields, mice, birds, etc. Is that true? Yeah, it is true. But like it kills far less animals than like meat itself, and plus like all the soy, or a big percentage of the soy like harvested is for like animals. So like chickens and cows. I think the number is like 70% worldwide. Like 70% of soy worldwide is actually fed to livestock, and 50% of grains is fed to livestock. So if we actually ate plants instead of animals, then we'd save a lot more animal lives. And there's a lot of research done on that as well. I forget the name of the study now. How can I search this? Let me see. I don't know. Let's see this. Okay. So if you see this graph here, you can see the amount of animals killed per 1 million calories of certain food groups. So like 1 million calories of grains kills 1.6 animals, and chicken, if you had 1 million calories of chicken, then you'd kill 250. So obviously, well, not milk. Obviously, this is the best diet for reducing animal suffering. So back to the stream. Do you have any favorite Clarence O memes or favorite funny comments that people usually post in your videos? I'm beginning to hate memes. Like, I think they're just stupid. Like, especially like mean comments on like YouTube. Just same shit over and over again. So it's not funny anymore. Can't think of like a funny one recently. Like, there's a couple in like Discord. Let's have a look at these. Okay. Yeah, there's not a lot of funny ones at all. Like, I actually can't think of any funny like memes about me. Like, they're just all stupid. Yeah, stupid. Okay, whatever. Next question. Funny comments. Yeah, there's loads of funny comments, I guess, on my YouTube videos. If you want to check out like a lot of weird and funny comments, like search on like Imgur, like Clarence O comments compilation. You see lots of funny comments there. Soy milk is the best anabolic. Yeah. Okay. I guess soy milk is definitely anabolic. I'm a soy boy myself. Veganism is about reducing suffering as much as possible, not about being perfect. Yeah. It's like the intention as well to reduce suffering. Like, you could say the same thing about like freeganism, I guess. You could say, oh, freeganism is about reducing suffering. But veganism is about reducing suffering as much as possible. I don't know, you can get really philosophical into that, and like I could think of like an argument, like a meat eater carnist argument against that would say like, oh, if veganism is about like reducing suffering, then why do you drive a car? You know, like stupid arguments like that. So I say like a better definition of veganism is the definition you see online, like oh, one second. Fuck, I can't find it. It's like the vegan definition by the Vegan Society or whatever. Yeah, veganism is a way of living which seeks to exclude as far as is possible and practicable all forms of exploitation of and cruelty to animals for food, clothing, or any purpose. So that's a better definition. Yeah, so how long have you had those white Romaleos? I got them when I was in Canada, so that's been like 2 years, has it been? Yeah. I think it's over exaggerated, but I'm sure some die. Yeah, okay. Yeah, 250cc is pretty small. Have you looked into super bikes like the Yamaha R6? Yeah, 250 is getting boring for me. It's really good for fuel economy, I guess. Like if I use it for like my bike for commuting, it'd be amazing. Because it's like 70 miles per gallon, which is really good. Well, it's boring. It's really boring. I was thinking about getting like the NC 700 because that's a 750 or 700 cc bike. It's like more powerful, obviously, than my current bike, and like it's really fuel efficient, but not as powerful as like other like 600 cc bikes. But as for the Yamaha R6, yeah, I've considered it, but I don't want to get like a sport bike just because of the seating position. Like I just want to get something different. Like I kind of want to get a naked bike because it's more comfortable for like if I ever want to go like touring or something, like around Ireland or something, which I kind of plan on doing in the future. So yeah, the R6 wouldn't be good for that, but it'd definitely be a lot of fun. Like I have a friend actually that has motorbikes as well, and he's thinking about getting GSXR 600 in the future. So maybe I can just try out his bike for like a week or two. Yeah, so maybe that's how I get fun on like sports bikes. I know there is a vegan milk, the brand Cafalia makes, which is vegan and soy free. It's made with pea protein. Yeah, that's probably good, but it's probably expensive. What's up with the group coaching pledge on Patreon? Yeah, fuck, I should delete that. I put that up by accident. Yeah, I was gonna do that ages ago, but I decided to go against it. Yeah, just ignore that. I had to delete that. It doesn't seem to be visible on your Patreon page. Yeah. Will there ever be a 5x5 back squat video with music again, like the ones you did 240 and 260, or will you not do that unless the weight increases? Yeah, of course I won't do that unless the weight increases. Just imagine if I did that with like 230, that'd be a shit video. And obviously going beyond 260 is going to be really difficult. Like when the weight gets that high, doing that much volume is like really stressful. So I probably won't. Like these days, like I'm not doing that much volume at all, and it's more effective. I haven't done 5x5 actually in ages. I usually do something like 3x5 at once. 270 5x5 was your max? Nah. I did 270 for 6x3 though, and it was easy when I did that. I say that's a bit more, well, maybe, yeah, I say it's more impressive than doing 260 5x5. I haven't posted that video on YouTube though. Where did I stop here? Muscle spasms. Do you have a job? Okay, I think I stopped here. French guy. So Samuel asked, what other YouTubers do you plan on collaborating with in the future? One person I'm trying to collaborate with is Takahishi. I messaged him on Instagram, but I think he just doesn't speak English that well. So maybe I'll try again to like contact him, but I think that'd be awesome. But obviously the problem is like he's in Japan, so that's really far away, and I'm not sure if he wants to collab with me as well. So maybe he just wants to focus on training. Yeah. Other than that, in July I'll be going to the Scottish Gathering, so I guess I'll be collabing with Hayden again, and possibly Juji if he comes. So that'll be interesting. Have you ever had intense calf pain from squatting, cleans, and snatches? If so, how did you treat it? Calf pain, yeah, I have experienced that, and I guess my funny answer is I use like the same strap I use for my knee, and yeah, that seems to take away the pain. Other than that, like just giving it some time to like heal is the best thing. Avoiding like regular back squats and doing pause squats instead, and doing power cleans and power snatches instead of the full lifts, and just allowing it to heal. That's how I overcome like calf pain. And I do get that from time to time, and like it usually comes from like high volume squats and like regular squats. I never got calf pain from doing pause squats. Oscar asked, do you have a job? Yeah. sort of. It's like part time in a lab. But I'll probably be getting like a full time job this summer. I don't know yet. What type of straps do you use? I'm still using like the straps that Tarakti gave me. Yeah, they're decent enough. Do you increase your protein intake due to your vegan diet, or is keeping track of amino acids enough? Yeah, it is necessary to increase your protein intake by 10% if you're on a vegan diet. Because plant sources of protein don't digest as well as like animal protein. That's not talking about like protein powders, but like actual food. So yeah, it is necessary to increase your protein intake slightly on a vegan diet. It's literally probably like another serving of beans per day, so it's barely anything. And yeah, I do track my amino acids on like chronometer. Harris asked, name your top 5 all favorite weightlifters. Top 5. Like I kind of like, honestly, the past few years I've lost like respect for weightlifting, and kind of been like demotivated to do weightlifting, and kind of lost respect for like all the weightlifters and stuff, because just how corrupt it is and everything. So like, I don't know, like in terms of just like people who I like to like watch and everything, and ignoring how corrupt weightlifting is, like probably my top 5 favorite weightlifters of all time. So definitely Sakarevich, super strong, like 210 snatch, 250 clean and jerk, at 110 kilo body weight, which is insane. Gabriel Sinclair, like he's one of my favorite weightlifters. Like his technique is just awesome, fast, explosive, definitely nice to watch. Who else? Like, based on what I said previously there, like if you asked me this question like 5 years ago, I would have said like, oh, Paris Diamas is like one of my favorite weightlifters. But like, my opinion about that has changed now, because just seeing like what he did with anti-doping and all that, it's very like strange the way he said he was like, he claimed natural and all that, which is just ridiculous. So I've lost like respect for him because of that. So yeah, I can't really think of 5 weightlifters, but yeah, like Zakarevich, Gabriel Sinclair, and a couple of Chinese lifters like Lao Hoi. Really liked his lifts in the past. Yeah, I can't think of any others. Maybe David Nolan. Maka asked, how do you train around injuries? What would a session look like if dealing with a lower limb injury, knee, hip, ankle, etc.? And what would a session look like if dealing with an upper body injury, shoulder, elbow, wrist, back? Yeah, I kind of answered that question. So like, the best way to train around injury is choose exercises that don't hurt, and for the exercises that do hurt, then change the form of those exercises. Do a variation of those exercises that don't hurt, and then slowly reintroduce like the main lift back into your training slowly. So that's how you overcome injuries. And obviously, like doing like isolation exercises that help with like strength and muscle imbalances would help with injuries as well. It could be due to mobility, poor mobility, but usually not. Yeah. Alec H asked, do you deadlift with Oli shoes? If so, why? Honestly, the main reason I do that is just because I think it's kind of weird to take off your shoes in the gym. I don't know, it's just strange. Like, and another reason is like it carries over more to like the Olympic lifts, because obviously you can't do a clean and jerk without shoes. That'd be really difficult. Michael Horner asked, why the recent change to higher volume and more variations? Well, I'm doing higher volume, kind of doing the same variations I've always done. And the reason I'm doing higher volume is because, like, have you watched the the videos about Gabriel. He told me to do 15 sets, so I had to increase my volume. Like he told me I had to do higher volume training, so that's what I'm doing. If I don't, he's probably gonna shoot me with his AK-47, so I better watch out. He also asked how to find squat, snatch, and clean stance. The squat stance, typically it would be shoulder width. Of course, this like varies between like people, depending on like body structure and all that. But typically it would be like shoulder width. The snatch, the receiving position in the snatch should be slightly wider than your back squat stance. So that will allow you to go deeper, so you can snatch more weight. And the starting position in the snatch would be obviously more narrow than that, because it's a bad idea to jump in like if you start with like a very wide stance. So like a starting stance will be typically inside shoulder width. That's optimal for most people. And some people have like problems setting up correctly with a stance like that. Like they have troubles like with keeping their back straight. So for them, like a wider stance would be better. And for the clean, the same thing can be said for the clean. Like the clean receiving stance would be the same as like the front squat, which should be very close to the back squat stance. Alright, that's all the questions on Patreon. Jesus, 1 hour and 40 minutes. I'll go through these questions here. What are your thoughts on Eric Bugenhagen and his reverse deadlifts? He's definitely entertaining. Like I watched a couple of his videos. As for his like training methods, I don't know. Like I really don't know what to make of it. Like I know he's just doing like those lifts to get views on YouTube. He's probably not doing those exercises for like benefiting his like strength or like health or anything, like, you know, like he's doing those crazy lifts to get better at those crazy lifts. He's not doing those crazy lifts to get better at his like conventional deadlift or whatever. I can't believe you didn't include Clarence Kennedy and Owen Murphy in your top 5 favorite weightlifters. Well, including myself would be a bit weird. But yeah, fuck, I forgot to include Owen. Like I include David, but I didn't include Owen. What do you think about Isahiro Wakakami? Who's that? I had to look that up. Alright, who's this? Instagram. Oh, I know this guy. This is the guy that squatted like 350 and he was like vibrating. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, this guy's funny. He's really fucking strong. Yeah, Jesus, the eccentric in that is so fast. It's insane. Yeah, he's definitely a good squatter. I think I'll watch a few of his videos. Or Lee Sang. Don't know who that is. I don't even know who this guy is. He's quite jacked anyway. Yeah, I don't even know who this guy is. Oh, he's Korean. Okay, wait, I do know this guy. I think he won the clean and jerk medal in the World Championships, if that's correct. Yeah, the 67. Yeah, he's pretty good. I don't know much about his lifts though. Anyway, not sure what your motorcycle budget is, but I would recommend for performance and efficiency the S1000R. It is a great naked bike, and is basically a super bike with no fairing kit. Never heard of that bike actually. Is it a Honda? What bike? Oh, it's a BMW. Yeah, it looks pretty awesome. I bet that's expensive though. It's a European bike. Yeah, I don't really want to buy like a European bike because they're not as like reliable as like Japanese bikes. So, and they're more expensive usually. So, um, ever since I watched your video with Tom Martin, I can't listen to DNR without getting pumped for the gym. Yeah, that's an awesome song. I really like that. It's in my Spotify playlist. What do you think of Pat Menday's squat form? He once did 300 kilos for 6 reps. He also did 320 for 5 reps, so he did more than that. Yeah, his squat form is definitely unique. Like he has a very, very fast negative, and that works for him because like he can maintain his technique with a fast eccentric. Another person that does this is Shane Haman. He's used to be like an American weightlifter. Like his squat form like looked very similar. Have you ever watched The Long Way Round and The Long Way Down? No, never seen that. What is that? Is that a movie or something? Long Way Down. Search this. Ah. Sounds interesting. I actually might watch that. Yeah, seems cool. You should check it out. It's an adventure on bikes. Yeah, might be awesome to watch. Thanks. So I answered all these questions, and if I can use this tab. Whoops. Yeah, just to go through a few more comments here. Recommended by Newest. Senpai finally knows me. There's no interesting comments to respond to here. Veganism doesn't work for some people. Like, a lot of people were saying this, like in the comments. And it's funny because like none of them like produced studies at all. I can't escape the fact that vegetables are produced with soil that contains nitrates, which comes from animal products. No, you can grow crops without using animal products. Stupid. There's one comment I actually wanted to show you. Yeah, this one. This is really strange. Like, this guy, he basically said, like, very poor arguments defending veganism, mate. And I just said, explain why, because he didn't explain anything. And then he gave me this, like, really, really long response. It's like a fucking essay. Like, literally all of this doesn't even, like, answer my question of explaining why. I just read through all that shit. And then he made, like, a few points here and here, but I responded anyway. He basically said like people on a standard diet like don't need explanation, but vegans do. But like how many people in the US, like the Western world, die of heart disease, and that's most of the time that's related to like diet. So maybe those people need to be told what to do. And he's saying that veganism is a new concept, never before attempted, blah blah blah, to do its health. And then he's saying like that anecdotal evidence is enough to convince them that they should stop. I'm not convinced the studies or evidence that a plant-based diet is healthy. I was just basically saying that like he's anti-science. Like anecdotal evidence, saying that's like weighs more than like case control studies, like court studies, like meta-analysis. Like that's anti-science, because like the American Dietetic Association like states that a vegan diet is suitable for like all stages of life, and it's like he hasn't even refuted that. So there's loads of stupid comments. And like just people like this, like the thing is, there's as much research as to why a vegan diet isn't suitable to most people. What research? Like I even said it here. Like what research? And some guy is responding saying like, oh yeah, medical institutions, blah blah blah, and he's saying like just rambling about random shit. Then I just said you haven't provided a single paper on why a vegan diet isn't suitable for most people. Like the thing is like the vegan diets, like veganism in general, like it's based like off logic and like scientific evidence, whereas like carnivore diets are not based on anything, they're based on anecdotes. Just stupid. Anyway, back to the live comments here. In the case, a CBF 1000 Touring, which is based on a race bike engine but has the upright positioning for a distant ride, more affordable in comparison to European bikes. Yeah, it's really cheap. Like CBF 1000 probably be like just $3,000, like second hand. So might go with that. Veganism isn't a new concept, and I'm not vegan. Like yeah, it's like saying that eating vegetables. Is a new concept. It's just it's ridiculous. I will never understand why people try to find reasons to attack veganism. It is all about being ethical and treating others the same way you would want to be treated. Yeah, it's just strange. Like anti-vegans, it's like I don't know. Like if there's a group of people that I don't know give food and money to the homeless. And then there was another group of people that were like, fuck that, you shouldn't do that, that's bullshit, you shouldn't like give food to the homeless, that's dumb, it's literally the same thing. Plus it is good for you and the planet. Yeah, definitely. So, more comments. Yeah, Mark Sherwood, he's got to ask the question originally on Patreon, and like he didn't talk shit, he wasn't offended. I just said like, oh no problem, like this guy kind of talks shit, but like whatever. But he did say everyone is entitled to live their life however they want within reason, so more power to you. I disagree with that, like or I mean I would agree with that, so like everyone is entitled to live, but like what about like the animals, like aren't they entitled to live? You have to ask yourself like questions like that. Yeah, Tirzu is the shit. I watched his recent video, awesome, really like that channel. Are your shoes vegan? Yeah, Romedios. They use like synthetic leather. You can see a thumbs up, like a few comments. It's fucking stupid. Like, just immature comments like this. Like every time I make a video about like a vegan diet, like there's just idiots in the comment section. Like I even remember like in my last video, like where I talked about like my diet and stuff, like the protein one. Like I really tried, like in that whole video I didn't even say the word vegan. I didn't put vegan in the title because I wanted to avoid like negative comments, and I still got like a shitload of negative comments. And like for this video I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna put like vegan in the title and see what happens. And surprisingly, like I didn't get that many dislikes. Like this is usually more dislikes than I usually get, so yeah. Yeah, this is another strange one. Your argument against competing is faulty. Yeah, I just basically said that. I don't know. Let's actually think of some other comments there. Bro, you take dozens of supplements and powders. There's no way you can live vegan naturally. Like, okay, let's say you can't live vegan naturally. Why does that matter? Like, what's the most optimal diet for human health? It's a vegan diet. Like, there's loads of research on that. Why does it matter if it's natural or not? It matters if it's healthy or not. This is a good one. Like, you guys should like check out this comment thread on the video. So this guy's like, oh, you're 25 years old, yet you claim that veganism absolutely works long term, yet you have literally zero experience being a vegan long term. 3 years is nothing. Seems like your intelligence is below average. Well, see how you look and feel when you're no longer young, where you can eat almost anything you want, work out extremely hard, and still hit heavy weights. Can't wait to see you degrade because of veganism and then make a video about how you're starting to eat meat again. It's going to be glorious. You also say carnivore diet doesn't work long term, but you don't back it up with evidence, like how you said people who claim veganism doesn't work long term. Okay, fair enough. I didn't really like give research in the video about like why carnivore diet didn't work, but I did respond to that comment and just said here like gave 2 research papers. Like this is a huge one from the Lancet. This just basically shows why like fiber is important for human health. I think it's like it showed that like there's a 15 to 30% reduction in all-cause mortality by eating a diet high in fiber compared to a diet low in fiber. That's a huge study, and basically saying that like a diet like high in like saturated fat and cholesterol, which is a carnivore diet, like that is very bad for LDL cholesterol, and levels of LDL cholesterol above 70 milligrams per deciliter, definitely not good. That's what causes heart attacks. Yeah. He didn't respond, obviously, because he can really say shit. And I think he wanted to challenge me to like an MMA match or something. It's fucking stupid. Of course, Zach said he's vegan for 6 hours. Alright, back to the live chat. It feels like people want to disprove a group doing something different just because they can't do it. They don't have the power to. Yeah. Recommendations on sources to learn about veganism and which foods are good alternatives to chicken, fish, and eggs. If you want some quick information, definitely like watch my videos about like diet that I post on my YouTube channel. And then I recommend this website called veganhealth.org. Like that's a very, very good website for giving nutrition information about the vegan diet. You could check out like if you want to look into like I guess the philosophy of, like veganism. Check out like this channel called Ask Yourself. Really good. Other than that, no, I can't really think of any other like sources of information. This is a Wi-Fi card. I don't even know why I'm holding it, by the way. Should probably connect this to my computer because my computer doesn't even have Wi-Fi, but whatever. No, I can't think of any other good sources. Like veganhealth.org, brilliant. And Ask Yourself YouTube channel is really good. Vegan Gains is good as well, but like a lot of people don't like him, so whatever. You can use tofu to replace all three of these. Check out tofu scramble for egg replacement. Yeah, tofu scramble is great. I actually haven't had tofu in like 2 weeks, so I definitely need to buy some. As for chicken and fish, freezing it gives it a similar texture. You guys know the oldest woman in the world lives on rice and some simple veggies, somewhere deep in the Chinese mountains. Um, is that a joke or something? Because like a lot of like meat eaters like make a claim like that. It's like, oh, do you know the oldest person in the world eats bacon every day, you know, kind of thing. You know, it's just anecdotes. I've cut out pretty much everything else besides those three, but I just haven't been able to find things that taste good. Would you recommend just salting the tofu or adding seasoning? Yeah, definitely add seasoning. Like tofu tastes like crap without any seasoning or anything. Like use soy sauce, like herbs, spices, everything. Look up like stuff on Google. See good like tofu recipes or whatever. As of May 1st, 2019, the oldest known living person is Kane Tanaka of Japan, aged 116 years. Okay, no, her name is Luo Mezen. Yeah, I don't know about that. Genetic doping is the new thing coming up, and it can be undetectable if done well. Yeah, people claim that genetic doping is happening now, which I totally disagree with. People say like, oh, the Chinese are genetically doping. No, that's bullshit. Like the Chinese are just taking Winstrol. Like a couple of Chinese lifters were caught taking Winstrol, and I think this guy is talking about CRISPR. If you guys don't know what that is, definitely look it up. It's really interesting. Yeah, just stupid comments like this. Like, yeah, this is a interesting comment I responded to. He said like, Clarence, you seem to be against anti-doping, but did you ever consider what would happen if doping was allowed? People would definitely become monsters and would take an insane amount of he means drugs to become the best, which would cause a lot of deaths. Yeah, I don't disagree with what he said there. Like, it would result in more people taking like a lot of gear, possibly. But then I responded saying that like anti-doping like forces athletes to use like more dangerous compounds, shorter detection times. Like the drugs with the shortest detection times are usually like orals, like, and they're not good for health. Obviously, like injectables would be a lot safer, but they have longer detection times. So athletes use like dangerous compounds like orals, and I give an example like THG, which is called the Clear, was made by Balco, and athletes use it because they're competitive, because that's what happens in sports. You have to be like competitive, and like there's no research at all like done on that compound, and it was given to just random athletes, so that's extremely dangerous. I guess like people could respond to like what I said there, and they could say like oh, it was their decision to take it, it was their decision to take like a dangerous compound to be competitive, so it's their fault. But like my arguments like against that would be like sports, like it's like war. Like it's like trying to like win in sports by not using drugs is like going to war without a gun. It just doesn't make any sense. Like obviously you want to be as competitive as possible and do whatever it takes to be the best. So if that's taking drugs, then yeah, that's what sports is about. Like it's a war zone. It's not a friendly competitive competition. Like there's loads of money involved. So he said here like you may be taking shitloads of tested doping, better than small muscle drugs, blah blah. 400-meter women's world record was done in the 80s, and yeah. And I was just responding to them, and I was just saying that, like, yeah, both scenarios unethical. There's no real solution. Yeah, I just explained some like negatives of like anti-doping and all that, and I was basically saying that like what he said here, like people taking shitloads of like drugs, which probably isn't the case at all. Like it's probably optimal to take less gear for like sports like athletics and weightlifting. Like you could even see, yeah, this is a study I was mentioning earlier. Secret program of the German Democratic Republic government. If you search that document, you can see like what athletes are actually taking, like the dose of like Turinabol, the dose of testosterone they're taking. It's very low compared to like what powerlifters use, what weightlifters use, or what powerlifters and bodybuilders use. So yeah, it probably won't be dangerous to allow doping. Is basically what I'm saying. Not as dangerous as what some people think. Retarded comment. Yeah, so I responded to this comment and I basically said, missed the point. In Ireland, no drug testing. I think it's unethical to compete if someone in Ireland has an unfair advantage compared to someone in America. And you could say the same thing about like North Korea. Like in North Korea, there's no out-of-competition drug testing, so you know it gives you like an unfair advantage if you're from a fucked up country like that. If you're from like Iran, like anti-doping can't enter that country because they have to like obtain visas. And then like obviously athletes would know about that, their coaches, and they'll tell them to cycle off gear and then they'll be clean for the out of competition test. So it's completely unfair. And then people are calling them stupid and stuff. I actually didn't respond to this comment. Bro, I see you ride a motorcycle. How do you deal with the risk of crashing and potentially career lifting ending injuries? I like to ride too, but I'm too afraid these days. Training is my life and I don't want to risk it. Yeah, that's like a legitimate reason. Like, honestly, I was really considering not getting a motorbike because of how dangerous it is. Like, if you look at the statistics, like your chances of dying on a motorbike, it's some crazy like 35 times higher than driving a car, which is crazy. Yeah, motorbikes are dangerous without a doubt, and people who say otherwise just haven't looked into like the statistics and everything. But if you do look into like the research on that, you'd see that like many of the motorbike deaths and like injuries come from people that drink before they ride, which is ridiculous. Like I don't drink alcohol, so obviously I won't be like drunk driving. That's insane. And other thing as well is that like a lot of the older people, like men over the age of 40, that they actually have the highest chance of like getting injured and dying on a motorbike, probably because like they have poor like reaction times and everything. So there's definitely like ways to minimize your risk of like getting injured or dying on a motorbike. Like you can get a bike with ABS, and that has been proven to reduce like deaths. There's even research on that. You can buy like proper helmet and gear. Like I know there's this website or like a company that like tests like motorbike helmets, and the helmet I bought was like 5-star rated. I forget the name of the rating again, but yeah, definitely get like a good helmet and get good gear, everything. You can actually get good like vegan motorbike gear as well that doesn't contain leather. So yeah. Other than that, like obviously not speeding like an idiot. Like if you want to speed, then do that on a track. Don't do it like on the road. driving safely, everything. Yeah, pretending. Like what I like to do, like when I'm on a motorbike, is to pretend I'm invisible, because a lot of people in cars don't see motorbikes. So, alright, back to the live chat. I see Spastic Cunt has joined the live stream. What a name. Okay, so where was I? Oh, I just realized I justified eating animals for flavor. That's not what I meant. Yeah. Does tofu have any nutritional value compared to meat? Well, you could just look that up online. Like, I'm just gonna do a quick like search here. Like, I don't know, tofu nutrition. That's what we're on. Nutrition data, is that the, yeah, this is the website I want, yeah. So like, oh fuck, hang on a second. This website, self-nutrition data. You can see here, percentage of each macronutrient. You can see the amount of vitamin A and everything. Yeah, this gives you good like info. Like so, some tofu is like fortified with calcium actually. So yeah, fortified tofu contain a lot of calcium. You can also just type in tofu into Chronometer, and it gives you like the same thing here. All right, back to some of these questions. As of May 1st, oh sorry, I read that comment already. More people just talking about the oldest person alive. LOL, you still streaming? Yeah, I just thought I'd do a long stream because I'm bored. Why not? And I just kind of wanted to like respond to some of the comments on my YouTube, and like I had to respond to like these comments posted. So yeah, fuck it. I just thought, why not just make a long live stream. She passed away in 2013. Okay. You should write a book with comments refuting veganism and your replies to them. No, like that'd be ridiculous to write a book about that. I think like someone like ask yourself, like Isaac, you should like definitely make a book about like vegan philosophy. He knows a lot. Harris asked, do professional weightlifters live longer than professional bodybuilders due to less gear usage? I don't know. There's no like data on that. But like a lot of like professional bodybuilders obviously would die sooner because they use ridiculous amounts of drugs, and it's not just steroids, it's insulin, HGH, crazy compounds like that would like fuck you up. Like insulin will definitely shorten your lifespan for sure. So yeah, bodybuilders will definitely die younger. My dad calls them debt machines. Yeah. Guess you could call them that. Same here, LOL. He told me never to ride a motorbike. Saddest thing would be to be hit by a car while on a motorbike. Yeah. Can't really avoid that. Like, people are just stupid on the road. Well, I guess, like, to be fair, people just, like, motorbikes are just smaller vehicles, so, like, they're difficult to see. And, like, in Ireland, they're not really common, so people don't, like, expect them, I guess. According to Wikipedia, 2006, 13.1 cars out of 100,000 ended up in fatal crashes, while the rate was like 72.34. Blah, blah, blah. That's pretty insane. Yeah, but you have to take like what's even more, something that would actually make it more insane would be considering like how often people use motorbikes. It's far less than like car use. So if motorbikes were used as often as cars, by people that own motorbikes. The deaths will be like higher. I believe like you have to do it like per hour, or not per hour, but per like yeah, like your risk of dying on a motorbike compared to your risk of dying in a car. You have to use that statistic rather than like the total number of like people that died. If that makes sense. I believe there are some motorbike helmets with airbags being developed right now. There's like motorbike like vests that inflate upon crashing, but I don't know about helmets. I know there's like this like inflatable like airbag kind of helmet for like cyclists, but I don't know about motorbikes. Did you say vegan motorbikes, or is it too late and I didn't hear right? Did I say vegan motorbikes? I meant vegan motorbike gear, like in terms of like gear that like doesn't have any leather. Do you like and would you ever do cosplay? No. If yes, then who would you be? Okay, if I had to like choose like someone to cosplay, I don't know. Maybe like Harry Potter because that'll be very easy to just put on a pair of glasses. I don't know. Yeah, I think I'll end this like stream soon. It's been going on way too long. 2 hours and 16 minutes. I think there's more interesting stupid comments here. Yeah, that's all the comments. I don't really have anything else to say. Attack on Titan, has that come back? I read the manga. I'm not up to date on it, but like I got pretty far into it, so because of that, I'm not really too interested in like watching the anime show. Maybe I'll just wait till like all the episodes come out. But yeah, from what I read in the manga, it's definitely going to get very interesting soon in the anime. Oh, yeah, it's back up. That's great. Apart from veganism, what other thing? Persona 5. What other things are you interested in? Yeah, motorbikes for sure. That's something I'm really interested in. It's like a hobby of mine. Yeah, video games, I guess. Other than that, not much, I guess. Game of Thrones, never watched it. Maybe I will. Endgame. What is that? Oh, that's the Avengers film or something. Yeah, no, I never watched Avengers, so I don't know anything about it. Do you like Trivium? What's that? Oh, it's a band. Okay. No, I never heard of them, so no opinion. I have to unsubscribe from your Patreon now. Oh, shit. Because I didn't watch the Avengers. Yeah. I don't really have any interest in like superhero movies, honestly. The last one I watched, which was good, was the Spider-Man like film, the animated one. That was really good. Yeah. All right. I think I'll end it here. This has gone on way too long. Check this song out. What song? You didn't post anything. CS 1.6? Not sure what you mean. But okay. But whatever it is. Yeah, I'm gonna end it here. It was fun. Thanks for some of the people that stayed on for the whole thing. I know it's a bit boring, but thanks. Alright. Talk to you later, guys.